Hi, hello, my name is Comer Joseph. I hope we've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Before I discuss today's case, I'd like to mention my Christian suspense book series, which is Never As It Seems. The first book in the series is available on Amazon, and you can read it on any device on the Kindle app for free. Not only that, but I do have another book series, which is the Juliet Clark book series, which is about a Haitian American teen sleuth who happens to be a successful true crime YouTuber. The first book in the series is titled Murder at Heart. The links will be in the description box below if you are interested. Today I'll be discussing the mysterious death of Peter Spencer. This is one case that I didn't hear about through the news media or even social media. I was just simply scrolling through YouTube as I researched this case. I found it to be pretty tragic and a bit confusing. Pretty much, there are just plenty of holes in this story that just doesn't make the whole thing 100% clear to me. So I encourage you all to do your own research with this case and not to just look at my video for all of the information. Here we go. Peter Spencer was born on August 30th, 1992 in Kingston, Jamaica to parents Conrad and, I hope I'm saying this right, Isilda Spencer. Peter was described as somebody with a lot of personality. He was intelligent, charismatic, devoted in his faith. His morals were very important to him. He enjoyed sharing his knowledge to others. He even enjoyed giving, even serving food to the homeless. A free spirit, he trusted people unless he knew for sure that you couldn't be trusted. He loved traveling and having fun with loved ones. Peter had a desire to grow and learn something new every day. He was a man of many skills, like he was a chef, he had skills in carpentry and plumbing, and was even about to start his, own home repair business in 2021. That same year, he got engaged to Carmela, who was about to have their first child. So overall, like, life was looking really good for Peter. He honestly had a lot to look forward to. So on December 12th, 2021, Peter, I'm trying to figure out like how long he immigrated to the United States, but I know that he was living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's 28 at this time, and pretty much he was actually invited to this hunting trip by his former coworker and that coworker's other friends, and his fiance knew about this. Now, the timeline of the events that I'm going to explain, I try to look all over the place for it, but I'm just not sure if the timeline is honestly correct. So here is what I have so far. So once again, this is December 12th of 2021. His wife, not his wife, but his fiance Carmela is on her way to pick him up at the camp. But sadly, she's not going to be able to bring Peter back home whole. He's actually found dead on this campground. Now, there's just, I just cannot figure out whether she was the one who found him. I do know that obviously the police were called, so they also saw Peter's body as well, or I don't know if maybe even his friends, quote unquote, his so called friends, called him. But overall, sadly, he was found dead at this campsite and he was shot 9 times. Later on, they have this dead body. Obviously, there has to be an investigation. The police did detain and question 4 people, but all of them were released and not charged. So I'll go ahead and explain why later on. What gives me a bit of worry about this case is that there was a sign on one door at the camp which had a picture of a gun, pointing this direction, saying, "We don't call 911." Now, again, like I've said this in previous videos before, I'm definitely pro-gun and everything, and I know that plenty of people who are pro-gun, when it comes to like defending yourself, when you have an intruder, they're gonna defend themselves first before calling 911. So it's either that's why that's posted outside of the door, or In regards to this situation, it could mean something else. As for this hunting camp, it actually belonged to the Meyer family. Now, Nathan Meyer was Peter's former coworker, the one who invited him on the hunting trip. According to Nathan and his friends, Peter was drunk and on drugs, which one of the friends gave him, and because he was out of control, acting out of character, they say that he began shooting his AK-47 into the air and started talking wild, started shooting up in the air, and they claimed that they were defending themselves. So since he was the only black person in the group, it makes his family and even his family's attorney pretty concerned and suspicious. Now, here's the thing about Nathan. He also had an opportunity to be interviewed by the local news and share his side of the story, but he didn't, which, I mean, I don't really understand why. Like, if you did shoot Peter in self-defense, like, like you claimed, then why should you have an issue sharing your side of the story, if you're right, with the world? Like, either Nathan or, and here's the thing, like, I know that somebody in the group had a criminal record. I'm not sure if it was Nathan or one of his friends who had a criminal record, but Peter, this guy who's acting wild and shooting all up in the air supposedly, never had a criminal record. Nathan also admitted to taking drugs. Now here's one thing before I go on about what I found out. If you are also, taking drugs, and you're taking the same amount of drugs as Peter supposedly took, then how come you're not acting as crazy as he is? Because you have a gun as well. You can start shooting. Like, why would you be in sound mind while Peter is not in sound mind? So you are taking drugs and you're in sound mind, but Peter is taking the drugs and he's not in his right mind. Like, he's done. Like, this is why I don't smoke weed. This is why I don't drink alcohol. I honestly, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Not only that, Nathan, he claims that he took drugs as well. But according to Peter Spencer's family attorney, there were no drugs in Nathan's system. And as I heard about this information, like, I was trying to go ahead and find autopsy reports on Peter Spencer, but I couldn't find them. So I couldn't even find out 100% if drugs and alcohol was even found or discovered in Peter's body or system during the autopsy. There was also this surveillance camera that was at the campsite, but even with the news segments, like, people were just unsure of whether footage was even found on this surveillance camera, and I just don't understand, like, what's taking so long. Like, I don't know if anybody even tried to look at the surveillance camera. I don't know if I'm definitely not a tech guy. Like, I don't know if the batteries weren't working. I know that there are surveillance cameras, but it's just still unsure for some reason why the surveillance cameras weren't looked at, or it's just very unsure whether there was something even on that camera. Hopefully I didn't just run around in circles. So 2 autopsies were done. In the second one, it did show, of course, like I said earlier in the video, Peter was shot 9 times, but he was also shot, at least 5 of those 9 times, he was shot in the back. So the doctor who did the second autopsy believes that, with the distance and, with him being shot in the back, he feels like it was most likely that Peter was running away while he was being shot at. So if Peter were truly out of control and shooting all over the place, like, how would he have even known that he had to run? Like, how would he have that type of sense to run away when he was supposedly the aggressor? Because when you're the aggressor, you're running towards somebody. You're not running away from anybody. The DA's answer to this question was that while they were shooting at Peter, he spun around and then was shot in the back. And again, maybe he's got a point. Like, I honestly, like, praise God, like, I've never been shot. I've never seen anybody else get shot, at least in person. But you, that's just what the DA says. I'm just gonna leave it there. Again, there are just quite a few holes in this story. Like, what do you think? Do you think that Peter was killed in self-defense, or do you think that he was murdered in cold blood? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Overall, it's such a shame that when Peter had so much to look forward to in his life, like he was about to start this business, he was about to become a father, but yet, he wasn't. His life was taken away so suddenly. Like, now he's not able to start this business. Now he's not going to be able to be in his child's life. And according to the type of man that he was described as, it seems like there is this big gap in the lives of his loved ones, which will never be filled again because Peter, he can't come back. So if he was killed in cold blood, then the God that I serve, the God of the Bible, is a God of justice, and he will make sure that justice is served. I thank you all for taking the time in your day to watch this video. If you did like this video, please feel free to hit the like button. If you do have any thoughts on this case, please leave your thoughts in the comments section. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If there's a certain true crime case that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and let me know. I will see y'all for next True Crime Tuesdays, and I will talk to y'all later.